Welcome to Inner Mind Spark, where we explore psychology's role in understanding complex behaviors, including in politics. Today, we're diving into how President Donald Trump's recent actions in 2025 can be interpreted through the Madman Theory, a strategy where leaders act unpredictably to intimidate adversaries. Let's break this down in simple terms, focusing on foreign policy, economic measures, and psychological implications. Background on the Madman Theory. The Madman Theory was first articulated by President Richard Nixon during the Vietnam War. The strategy aimed to make North Vietnam believe he was capable of extreme, irrational actions, even nuclear escalations. According to Foreign Policy, Nixon's approach was rooted in Cold War dynamics and relied on leveraging perceived instability for coercive diplomacy. Yet international relations scholars remain skeptical. As noted in Wikipedia and Foreign Affairs, historical figures like Nixon, Khrushchev, and Saddam Hussein often failed to achieve lasting success with this approach. A study cited by Foreign Affairs found that the strategy might work under specific conditions, such as when a leader has extreme preferences and a reputation for slight madness, but is more often counterproductive. In 2025, Trump appears to have revived this tactic, using unpredictability in both foreign policy and economic decisions. Let's examine how. Application in recent actions. Foreign policy. Trump's foreign policy actions in 2025 bear many hallmarks of the Madman Theory. A striking example is his February 2025 proposal to own and occupy the Gaza Strip, resettle up to 2 million Palestinians, and develop the area into a Middle Eastern Riviera. As reported by CNN Politics, Trump read this plan aloud during a press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The proposal was met with immediate rejection by regional players, reflecting the diplomatic shockwaves such unpredictability can trigger. Another instance occurred in February 2025 during a tense White House meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr. According to Deutsche Welle, Trump threatened to withhold aid unless Ukraine agreed to a mineral revenue sharing deal, while the deal was ultimately signed in April, forming a joint investment fund in Ukrainian minerals. BBC News and the New York Times reported that the contentious negotiations raised concerns about U.S. reliability. Additional threats, such as Trump's refusal to rule out war over Greenland or the Panama Canal in January 2025, further reinforced the madman image. As noted by New York Magazine, these statements aim to intimidate adversaries and reflect a pattern of strategic volatility. Trump even told the Wall Street Journal in October 2024 that Chinese President Xi Jinping respects him because he's fucking crazy, a comment widely cited by CNN Politics. Economic measures. Economically, Trump's tactics in 2025 also echoed the Madman Theory. On April 3rd, he declared a national emergency under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, imposing a 10% tariff on all countries, with steeper rates for nations running large trade surpluses with the U.S. As detailed in a White House fact sheet, these measures took effect just days later, shocking global markets. Investopedia reported that these tariffs created significant economic uncertainty and raised doubts about America's commitment to international trade norms. Trump also extended the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, lowered the corporate tax rate to 15%, and proposed eliminating taxes on tips and Social Security benefits, all effective from January 2025. As outlined by the Tax Foundation and CBS News, this constituted one of the largest tax cuts since World War II. However, analysts at the Penn Wharton budget model warned that such aggressive tax policy, paired with sudden tariffs, could cancel out economic benefits by increasing the federal deficit. Again, showcasing unpredictability as a double-edged sword. Critiques and limitations, though. The Madman Theory aims to enhance bargaining power through unpredictability. Its effectiveness is hotly debated. Political scientist Roseanne McManus, as cited in Foreign Policy, argues that while the approach can succeed under very narrow circumstances, it generally fails to produce reliable outcomes. For Trump, this strategy has faced several critiques. Diplomatic strains. Unpredictability complicates alliances. The Gaza proposal, rejected by nearly all regional actors, and the contentious Ukraine deal both strained U.S. credibility. Domestic impact. According to an April 2025 Pew Research survey, Trump's erratic economic policies, including surprise tariffs and spending cuts, led to a drop in approval ratings, exacerbating domestic polarization, trust, and credibility. As New York Magazine pointed out, projecting madness can backfire. Adversaries may prepare for conflict rather than back down, eroding trust and increasing the risk of escalation. Journalist Jim Ciuto, in his book The Madman Theory, Trump Takes on the World, argues that Trump's approach has often created more problems than it solved, citing patterns of alienating allies and praising dictators. According to Foreign Policy, global leaders are increasingly familiar with Trump's playbook, diminishing the strategy's shock value. Psychological perspective. From a psychological angle, unpredictability can indeed serve as a powerful negotiating tactic. Trump's use of metaphors like card playing in his dealings with Zelensky illustrates this. As noted by DW, unpredictability fosters anxiety and hesitation in adversaries, sometimes to one's advantage. However, as Machiavelli once suggested in Discourses on Livy, simulating madness may be wise, but modern psychological research emphasizes its risks. Unpredictable behavior can undermine trust in long-term cooperation, especially in leadership settings where stability and reliability are highly valued. Conclusion and implications. Trump's 2025 actions, including the Gaza proposal, Ukraine minerals deal, and sweeping economic policies, reflect core elements of the Madman Theory. While this strategy may offer short-term leverage in negotiations, it comes with serious long-term costs: fractured alliances, market volatility, and increased domestic polarization. From a psychological standpoint, unpredictability can be a weapon, but it also jeopardizes trust and effective leadership. In the end, the Madman Theory raises a central question: can erratic behavior serve as a viable long-term strategy in global leadership, or is it simply unsustainable chaos?